Hey, what's up, party people? Welcome to the Honest Trailer commentary for Speed Racer. Yeah, that's this week.
Yeah, go Speed Racer, go.
And let's go through the motions of this. I'm here with...
never. Excited to be here. Let's jump in.
Actually, I'm excited because finally, Lon and I are usually on the same page and stuff, but we have some divisions on this table. And this is, yes, a freshly shorn Lon Harris, looking good. Looking more aerodynamic.
You're used to seeing like a whole bunch of nonsense going on here, and now you can see the Honest Trailer commentary.
His top speed is actually through the roof right now. Yeah, I saw him run here.
I'm so much more aerodynamic now. It's crazy.
We're gonna watch the Honest Trailer and start and stop when we have thoughts and feelings about it. We also have some deleted scenes, and we'll do a Q&A with any questions or comments you might have. Put those in the chat while we're talking, and we'll do that at the end, and then clue you in to next week's Honest Trailer. Should be a welcome respite. That's your clue.
Oh, okay. It took me a second, and I know the answer.
Yeah.
So,
but Speed Racer, a film that I had heard mixed things about, and had never seen myself.
Oh, this was your debut. This was your first Speed Racer video.
Yes, it's my first Speed Racer watch. And look, if
I saw this in the theaters, folks. I was part of the initial. I was not a Johnny-come-lately to Speed Racer. Yeah. I was like.
I say if I were trapped in a theater and forced to watch this movie start to finish, I probably would like it less. But I think that this one reminds me of like Tim and Eric's $1 billion movie, where it's so overstimulating and there's so much going on in the frame at all times that I was able to watch this in like 40-minute chunks, like during a day. Like I watched it for 40 minutes. I took a break. I let my eyes, like the tear ducts moisten my eyes because they've been desiccated watching like this candy-colored nightmare. And then I was able to dive back in and enjoy it. I thought it was an insane cartoon, much like the original, which I loved. So I guess that also predisposed me to like it because I watched.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Speed Racer cartoon series at all. So this is my only real exposure to the lore.
Yeah,
there's
the
lore of Speed. There is. I was reading up on the manga. Yeah. There is a lot of lore if you go back. Like the movie doesn't really touch on a lot of it, but
the cartoon, I didn't read the manga, but the cartoon is a lot of people are just murdering each other left and right.
I mean, that's consistent with the film. Yeah. I think at one point in the movie, a guy just takes out a handgun and just starts shooting at his competitors. And then in the next scene, Speed tells his dad the races are rigged. And John Goodman's like, oh, I don't believe that for a second. Like, you saw a guy take out a gun during league play.
Canonically, the Racer family are all idiots. Like, how could you be involved in the race industry for generations and not know that the Stanley Cup of racing was rigged? How does he not know any of that?
Keeping that chimp in a suburban household, cruel.
A recipe for disaster.
Chim should not be there. Like leave him at the track maybe, but not in your house.
With that, let's dive right in to the Honest Trailer for Speeders. But what's this? Oh, this is our 2023 Webby Award.
Oh my gosh.
Who left this here?
Oh.
It's a great place to put your beverage.
don't do that.
No, I'm saying. I just trying to find ways to
James Corden has one of those.
Naturally
work
it into the show. Yeah. But yeah, thank you to the Webbies and for you for voting. And this showed up in the mail. So
wow, how nice. What was our acceptance speech? Do you remember?
Betting on Webbies, money plane.
Yeah, we did it.
Maybe gambling on Webbies.
Yeah, it was something like
something money plane related.
It was something like betting on Webbies, money plane.
So yeah, here's to
congratulations to us.
Yes, congratulations to us.
I feel like that's got to be the first Webbies money plane reference, right? I mean, I feel like we now hold that distinction.
Well, I wonder if when Darius Emmanuel the Grouch 3 won his Webby for his crypto show.
I'm taking down the money plane.
That was his speech. Taking down the money plane.
Taking down the money plane.
Taking down the money plane. Yeah, there you go. We did it. All right, let's watch the Honest Trailer. Let's watch the Honest Trailer. Go.
Before you drive past Gran Turismo, check out a forgotten gem of a racing movie that's so fast-paced and insane, you'll swear you're watching the original cartoon.
He's going over that cliff.
Man, that show is hardcore.
Stop crying. It won't do any good. And anyway, you have a lot of work to do starting right now.
Yeah. Good advice.
Speed Racer. After the Matrixies, the Wachowskis could do anything. So they took a rave's worth of Molly and entered their flop era, making Speed Racer a colorful box office dud that's become a cult classic. Cloud Atlas, a colorful box office dud that's become a cult classic. And Jupiter Ascending, a colorful box office dud that's... What, really? This one too?
I create life! How dare you!
That's his best performance.
Okay, might be worth a rewatch.
Oh, it's so good. I love Jupiter Ascending. It's fantastic.
Can we just do like a super good, just the Redmayne, the Redmayne cut of Jupiter Ascending?
God, because like that, it's that kind of movie. He's good. It's not like he's so bad he's good.
Yeah,
he's plugged in more than anyone else to the vibe of the movie. He's giving an appropriate performance.
Channing
to that
Tatum,
movie.
way too subdued.
Everybody else, like Sean Bean, I usually like, but way too subdued in this. He needs to be at an 11. Everybody else,
they put dog ears on Channing Tatum, give him rocket skates, and he's still just. I'm here to protect you, my queen.
The rest of them really need to be matching Redmayne's energy. I actually think Mila Kunis is like she gets it too, like her role in it. Like I think she's pretty good in it too. It's everybody else is just underplaying.
I like all the Abraxas siblings. That's my Succession spinoff. Is let's send Kendall into space to chop it up with the Abraxas.
But they never question that they liquidate planets to make de-aging cream. He's just in. I say we just go for it. You know,
got the cream. Yeah,
we just full on liquidate 12 planets.
Are we creaming, bro? We creamed or what? Stewie, I need you on this cream.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like Speed Racer is now the most loved. Mm-hmm. Like we've gone back and reevaluated this whole era of Wachowski, and Speed Racer is the one everybody loves the most. It's the only one I don't like. All the other ones, I'm like Cloud Atlas certainly has its issues, but there's a lot of fun stuff in it too. It's very like crazy and over the top and imaginative in a fun way. This just 10 minutes plus of it grates on me. I just can't take it.
I can see that. But Jupiter Ascending, don't get me wrong, it's still a really bad movie. It's a really bad movie watching experience.
I don't know if I agree. It's crazy and chaotic and not like well organized or structured maybe, but like so imaginative.
A lot of it's
crazy.
Just dump after dump of lore and but Eddie Redmayne makes it all sing.
I really enjoy. I think it's a fun movie to watch.
Yeah, all right.
It's got that Fifth Element vibe.
Don't keep that out of your mouth in the same sentence as Jupiter Ascending. How dare you?
Fair enough.
But the Redmayne cut, I would watch anytime.
Yeah, I was gonna say just like without like Fifth Element, I really enjoy, but it balances the comedy with this kind of like artsy self-importance. It's like European in that way,
Very
and
French.
I don't think Jupiter Ascending has that. It's just the goofiness.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. Well,
that's all. I prefer the other movie.
Yeah. But, let's keep going. Fifth Element's one of my
Experience a fun 80-minute movie stretched into a 2-hour tech demo that's like eating a bowl of eye candy for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. In one of the earliest examples of stick actors in empty rooms and doodle the film behind them, where Adobe apps take the place of props, sets, and lighting, while the cast must make everything feel real on acting skills alone.
Oh, come on, take me with you. Come on, please, Rex. Please.
Uh-oh.
Where have you been?
Have any of these drivers read the rule book?
Oh, no.
Holy cannoli, Speed.
Journey to a world whose
I think that might have been a choice to, let's run it back, baby.
Any of these drivers read the...
No.
That might have been a decision to emulate the tone of the cartoon.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it clearly is meant to be really goofy and cartoonish and like have that sort of broad over the top feel.
But it really stands out when you'll have like John Goodman and Susan Sarandon like playing a scene and they're acting. And then Emil Hirsch is like, I don't know, maybe I should not go in the race. Yeah. Like it's very I think it could have used a little more emotional depth from some of the characters.
Yeah, I mean, I think just so much of the movie is montage, and like that's obviously a big part of what they're like. That was the idea, is like it's almost a whole movie with no scenes. It's just like constant wipes and constant, like, everything is happening in a montage at the same time, and you cut to an announcer, and then you cut to the race, and then you cut to at home, and then it's a flashback, and it's just like it does. Like when you do slow down for a scene, it's just like now it feels inauthentic and like.
Quick, speed it up.
Yeah, like you're not making a real movie, so you don't have that option to just like pause occasionally and make a real movie for 5 minutes. You kind of got to be
it is
one
experimental in a way that it never slows down. It's on brand.
it is on brand. I mean, it was very experimental in its day. I wish that I feel like we all took the wrong lessons from this experiment. Like the thing that became rather than a new approach to like editing or like montage or like different ways of storytelling, the thing that we took from this movie was put Christina Ricci in a blue room and then paint a movie
we don't need to build
her.
sets anymore.
Right. And like
any practical effects.
That's gone so far in a, I think, negative direction now that I don't want to blame this movie for that, but that sort of became the takeaway.
To me, this is the one movie, not the one, but the one movie where the CGI doesn't look real, but it's an aesthetic choice. Like they weren't trying to make it look realistic.
No, they're
It's not
clearly...
like the Flash Horror Dome where they're like, no, we wanted it to be that.
Yeah, and it looks cool. I mean, there are genuinely sequences in this where the like racing, especially during the races, where it does look cool. Like it doesn't look like we're always complaining about the volume or wherever, where it just looks flat and bland. Like it's super bright, it's super colorful, it's hyper kinetic, where it feels like there's movement in every corner of the frame, and like it's cool. Like I'm not saying there's no cool shots or moments. I just, man, like so many. Like when I saw Sin City, or when I first saw Spy Kids, or when I saw Sky Captain, or when I saw this, you had so much hope for what this technology could be, and then it ended up being this prison. Like, now we've locked all of our actors
trapped in a blue cage.
Yeah, they're locked in a room in
acting
Burbank.
to a tennis ball.
Yeah, and it's just like, man, we just like, this took things in a bad direction. But that's not Speed Racer's fault.
Speed Racer's fault. It's not your fault.
Sorry,
okay, keep
sorry,
going.
Speed. I mean, Emil Hirsch, a bad guy.
Well, it can only speed.
Journey to a world whose economy is 95% car-based, and the rest is segways. And the most popular sport is a mix of Formula One and pro wrestling. It's as cool as it sounds. Like that car's a snake, but the driver's gimmick is calling people turds.
Let's pinch these turds off. Bye-bye, little turd.
And meet Speed Racer,
good one.
a grade A moron. Luckily, he's also the best driver alive, because what else could you do with that name? Besides porn, maybe.
Hubba hubba.
Speed comes from a long line of expert racists, like his pops, who runs an entire high-tech racing team with a staff of one live-in Australian houseboy.
I just can't believe there's not one mention of racer motors in here.
Rex, Speed's uncle brother, who doesn't let a 19-year-old age gap stop him from sharing the world's worst driving advice.
Close your eyes.
Racer X, a mysterious Matthew Fox, who is obviously Rex after faking his death. But there's a twist. He's not.
You're not Rex.
But there's a twist. He is. I wonder whose burnt corpse he stuck in his coffin. Trixie, Christina Ricci, in a bob so sharp it should be called a Robert. And the comedic duo of Spritle and Chim Chim, the annoying kid plus chimp pals that will instantly get on your nerves and stay there.
The Harbinger of Boom! Run for your life! Take him away, boys.
Just remembering how much I like Jordan Peele's Nope for no particular reason.
So pause. Yeah, that was a tough pill to swallow, was the shtick that they gave him to do.
There, at some point, there was a creative decision that was made that was like, let's give this 10-year-old actor just as many vaudeville, shticky, 20s kind of comedy routines as humanly possible. Like, let's give him one gay Harold game to play per scene. And like, it's not this poor kid's fault, but like,
no, but he was carrying a lot.
Yeah, he's
maybe
too
more
young.
than he could. Yeah.
He's too young to be asked to constantly deliver this level of comic material by himself. He's only acting opposite a chimp for most of it. Like, they didn't even give him John Goodman as a scene partner. And they're like, come on, man, that's not fair to ask of a child.
Too much too soon.
Yeah, and it's just like it does not work, and it's so, by the end, it's so annoying Like I did not fast forward because I take this job seriously.
I found it very grating.
I wanted to.
I do. It was leavened with the fact that I like him as Chowder. You ever watch that cartoon? He's the voice of Chowder.
On what cartoon?
Cartoon Network, long canceled.
Oh, I don't know.
So
probably after my time.
I found it more palatable, but still, this is a long film.
Yeah.
And
that's the other thing. If this was a 90-minute, you're in and out.
No film is a better candidate for being 90 minutes long than this one.
Yeah, I was just like making it epic length. You don't need to. It doesn't even have a plot. Why drag it on like that?
That well. Okay, keep going.
Would you rather watch racing action based on the most boring game since Microsoft Flight Sim?
Turn left, heading 085, expect vectors ILS.
Or do you want racing action based on F-Zero plus Beyblades? In races that feel like watching an earthquake at the Hot Wheels factory, where the drivers basically try to kill each other. But the real scandal is that the winners can briefly alter a stock price. Oh, look out, Speed. You're facilitating Royalton's corporate buyout.
All he wanted was our help to drive up the stock in his family business.
Yeah, I feel like all the murder is the bigger evil, but he is British, so...
Yeah, pause.
So
I mean, A for effort for them to try to make this anti-capitalist film about the malignant corporate influence over racing and stuff.
Yeah.
But that was completely lost on not just the audience, but on Speed. It was like, I don't know, I just want to go fast.
Yeah,
he had no stakes in the overarching stakes of the film, which was this manipulating stock price scheme that he never understood.
Yeah.
So we didn't really care. He just wanted to win.
The stakes of the final race are that he has to win in order to expose this fraud. That's the only way that they could be sure they'll expose the fraud. As opposed to he needs to win because he's got a personal rivalry against the people he's racing against,
right? Which
is kind of sports movie.
Well, he's trying to like honor and catch his brother, but the audience knows that his brother's like right next to him in the race car.
And I just feel like Rocky fighting Apollo Creed, they've spent the whole movie having a rivalry. It's deeply personal. By the time they fight, we're invested. We want Rocky to beat Apollo because he's a jerk.
Yeah, he was still killing new cartoon characters.
And in Speed Racer, in the final race, there isn't that personal stake. It's like, well, Royalton's bad, and if we win this,
Royalton's not in a car.
But he's right. He's not.
Office.
He's there in an office, like, move. Like it's
get him.
It's just like, come on. Like this seems pretty obvious. He's just like have an evil racing guy that he's got to beat. You know?
Yeah,
like,
they forgot to add a rival. Really.
His Johnny Tran from Chinatown.
Yeah.
That's the Fast and the Furious.
F1.
The first one.
Yeah. Oh well, next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going.
Go up for one of the most secretly influential films of all time that shaped how all movies would one day become green screen cartoons.
Yeah, does it look cool or?
No.
It doesn't feel cool, but if it looks cool, that's what matters.
With trigger warnings for all physical intimacy.
Warning. The following image may be unsuitable for the uninoculated or cootie-sensitive viewers.
And prove that a franchise could be built on a foundation of fast cars, secretly working for the government, not making any sense, and family. Hey, put that milk down and grab a Corona, Sparky. You're rolling with our crew now. Starring Emil Hirsch at Sundance.
Okay, no more Mr. Nice Guy.
You ever race a stranger in the Alps? Susan Sarandon. Damn. Christina Racey.
Sprite-o.
Chimp My Ride. E-Honda Insight. Tokyo Grift. Kroiki. Racer Twitter. Lars von Trier. David Zaslav.
All that matters is power and the unassailable might of money.
And Drive Shaft. Fast Times, I'm really high. I'd rather keep my mouth covered when I'm in a convertible than my eyes. These dudes must eat like 1,000,000 bugs. Ugh.
There you go.
True.
Well, there you go. That was the Honest Trailer for Speed Racer, an oft-requested film that I never got around to seeing until now.
No, there you go. I'm amazed we never did this one before because it's an oft-discussed movie on the social media.
Weirdly, we did this because we were thinking about Gran Turismo's coming out. That's
racing movies.
What racing movies are there? But we also have yet to do V for Vendetta for when the Wachowskis
next have a
Netflix series out or something, because I don't know if they'll get another chance.
Probably not another Matrix movie.
Well, yeah.
The last one, I really enjoyed it. Most people were not as into it. Didn't do that well.
Right. So I'd be curious how that one holds up. That's
I really liked Matrix Resurrections.
No, I mean V for Vendetta.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, been a long time. But Speed Racer, that was Speed Racer. I'm on board. I'd watch it if they did probably a video game would be better than another movie for this one. Plays like a video game.
There's so much more to explore in the Jupiter Ascending verse. I think we got to get back there first.
Cousin Roy Abraxas.
Yes, definitely got it. There's other corporations in outer space, I'm
Totally.
sure. Come on, what's going on with them?
So
she's the queen of Jupiter now.
And Earth. I guess.
Oh, right. She's the queen of our whole sector of space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And bees recognize royalty.
And bees. That makes. I mean, it makes perfect sense if you think about it.
Speaking of animals and bees, we have another video on this channel where we got a real doctor of veterinary science to talk about Spider-Man. And how the webbing would come out of his butt, and how Peter would have to shed his exoskeleton to grow. All sorts of disgusting, but
yeah, that sounds nasty.
But fun spider facts about what a real Spider-Man might be like.
What about Peter parked car? How would that?
Peter
work?
parked car. We would need a
mechanic.
Okay, for that one.
All right.
But yeah, lots of cool stuff about spider mating. Mary Jane would eat Peter unless he could run away.
Well, she's not a spider.
Well, if she were.
Okay.
So please check that out because that was really fun to do. And then for this film, we probably have some outtakes, right? Let's check it out.
Starring, if you're not Hirsch, you're last. Dim Toretto, John Goodyear, Thelma and or Louise, Helicopter Mod, Silly Racer, Tricks Are for Skids, Plugsley, Grease Monkey, Gordy's Chrome, Fast X, Hit the Road, Jack, Fox on the Run, Fell on Musk.
Squeeze reference?
No Speed Racer, no. Spy Skids, 3D, Cartoon.
Let's see.
Seriously, Fox on the Run. Who were we hoping was going to get that 70s classic
I don't
rock
know.
reference?
Did you write that? I didn't.
I didn't write that.
It's Danielle, yeah.
Great song, but not super relevant.
There you go. All right, let's get into the AMAs because that is who we are.
The American Music Awards.
The American Music Awards. So Billy's sending me them on Slack, but they're also being popped into the script. Some people were saying that Spritle might look like a 10-year-old Lon Harris. Trevor did preface this by saying no offense.
None taken. I was not a beefy kid. I didn't beef up until my teen years, so I didn't really look. I was very small and scrawny when I was 10 years old. But I don't take offense. I see the resemblance. I get it.
Yeah. So let's see. Luis says, would you blame this movie for the attention span of Gen Z / an indicator of what was to come? I wonder if Gen Z likes this movie. I mean,
oh yeah. I mean, this movie has definitely had a huge reappraisal. I feel like the internet in general across demos likes it now. I mean, I definitely think with Gen Z, there is that, like, the amount of movement and energy and quick cutting and stuff that would be irritating to people in previous generations, like old man Gilbert and Harris here. I feel like Gen Z's more into it because they're used to that, like flipping through TikTok and like that's just more of they're just media. They've been in front of screens and media a lot more than we were at their age, and so they're so I feel like you see that more. Like the Spider-Verse movies also are like
look at this
constant chaotic movement that for me is a little overwhelming, but for younger people is like, yes, this is what media should be like.
Yeah. A lot of questions along these same lines of, well, they're being a little mean about it, but what did the Wachowski siblings, what did they create beyond The Matrix that is of quality or lasting relevance? Beyond
Bound. You guys know the Bound
is incredible.
Bound is like probably their best movie, I think.
What else did they do?
What did they? Well, they did the 3 Matrix movies, and then I think we talked about most of their stuff, right? V for Vendetta,
Yeah,
which they produced. James McTeague directed. They produced.
But definitely watch Bound. That is 100%.
I think Bound is probably my overall favorite of their films. But I mean, I think I just about all of their movies, including this one, which not my favorite, I think have things of value. Yeah. Like, I think they're cool directors even when I don't love the finished film. Because even like Cloud Atlas, like the putting white actors in makeup to make them, I get what they were thinking. You know, it's like this international throughout time, but all of the stories are connected and we're all connected. And so the same actors playing roles in all the stories makes that kind of intuitive sense, but it just doesn't look right, and it's kind of offensive and weird. And so there's some missteps in that movie, but I don't think it's a terrible movie. It's not like irredeemable.
Well, check out Bound, and people say Sense8's really good.
Oh yeah, the Sense8, their Netflix show is really good too, and it's just, they're always interesting. Like, even if you don't love a Wachowski movie, they're making interesting choices, and they're not coloring within the lines, and they're doing things that are unexpected and taking a lot of risks. And that's why The Matrix is good, but it's also what makes even their maybe not as good as The Matrix movies interesting and worth watching.
Definitely.
That's what I would say.
Agreed. All right, let's go down to some other topics. People want us to check in on the actor and writer strike updates. If I recall, the last talks have fallen through miserably. And yes, it seems like there's no real progress on they're talking. There are talks, but it seems like every issue both sides are pretty dug in on.
They're still pretty far apart, but the most recent WGA AMPTP, like the last time they sort of volleyed, sent things back to one another, there is movement. I think the WGA quote was not nothing, but not nearly enough. So I think it's a net positive. The actors and writers have not moved. Their demands are unchanged, and the studios are slowly moving towards meeting. Either not there yet, but I mean, that sounds like winning to me, right? Like, yeah. And the fact that they've hired this crisis PR team that's now putting ridiculous stories about Carol Lombardini in the New York Times. I don't know if you've been following this.
Not really.
So last week, the news came out that the AMPTP has hired a crisis PR, you know, the kinds of people that, like, the same people Lizzo is hiring right now. That's who they're hiring. They're destroying us in the press. And then, like, a few days after that story, over the weekend, the New York Times ran this, like, puff piece about Carol Lombardini, the head of the AMPTP, that's like, she's trying her best, and don't be mean to her on Twitter, you guys. And it was so obviously, like,
a plan.
Yeah, the PR people called this reporter and were like, write a nice story about us. And he was like, okay. Like, I don't know why you would do that. But all of that smacks of desperation. And the writers aren't doing that. The actors aren't doing that. Like, Amy Adams is out there clowning the studios with her Arrival protest sign. So, did you see that?
I didn't see that, no.
She just wrote human on it. Anyway, it feels like all the momentum is on one side. So we're not at a solution yet. And I would say it doesn't look like this year. Like, the studios already seem to be planning on this year is not happening. So,
yep.
Like, actors aren't going to festivals, and like we're putting Dune 2 to next
punted
year.
Dune.
Yeah, so like disappointing, but I think it's all a positive sign that, like, even if it's dragging on, all the momentum is on the creative side right now. The studios don't have a leg to stand on, really. What have they got? What argument have they got? Like, they got nothing, really.
I don't know. The only thing I saw was that they were kind of hoping to do maybe an interim deal, like just to kind of kick the can down the road. Like, here's a little more money. Can we revisit this in 3 years? A
lot of the strategy is like, you know, just like in politics. The idea is like you wedge the other side. So you split the other side. So their goal is get the wealthy, established showrunners and big top writers. They want to end the strike quickly and get back to making their millions of dollars. So, like, turn them against the lower level writers. And, like, even if the lower level writers end up quitting the industry and move back to their hometowns and become baristas, fine, that's okay. The AMPTP doesn't care. So far, it doesn't look like that's working. Like, David Simon keeps going on Twitter and telling them to go F themselves, regardless.
Well, I mean, he'll say that
if you but I mean, like
pineapple on pizza.
It doesn't seem like Phil Rosenthal and Shonda Rhimes are going to, like, break ranks.
Yeah.
And, like, Taylor Sheridan may want to, but he's alone right now.
Yeah.
So far, I don't think that strategy seems to be working.
Well, sweet. All right. Well, we'll keep you posted with if anything major shifts.
The actors, they have not, since the actor strike started, they haven't resumed talks. So Duncan Crabtree, Ireland, the the SAG guy said they're willing. They'll sit down anytime, but no outreach yet.
Yep. We'll end with this. Jim 1, what's the all-time greatest bad movie that's become a cult classic? It has to be either The Room or Ski School. Is Ski School a cult classic? I know some people want to see us talk about Ski School.
I mean, you're a big fan. I would certainly rewatch Ski School. I mean, I would say the one.
Our last Webby speech was bring back the horny ski comedy.
It's true. It's true.
I have no interest in revisiting Ski School outside of my personal time, but I would like to write an update of Ski School. I would like to reboot Ski School.
There definitely should be, like, what's the 2023 answer to Ski School, Hot Dog the Movie, Aspen Extreme? Like, this was a viable genre that we should be bringing back. I think we can all agree on
Is it global warming? Is that what it took from us?
the raunchy ski comedy. Yeah, what happened to the raunchy ski
I think we don't have enough. Maybe it's just moved, but like slobs versus snobs.
Oh, and
used to be most movies that
80s comedy, that was like the formula.
Yeah.
I agree. We need to bring back the snobs versus slobs, the Caddyshack style.
Yeah. What's a sport that we could do? Pickleball. We could do the slobs of pickleball.
Oh my god! Honestly, you should not be giving that.
I'm sorry.
You could pitch that like
when the strike is
over.
The
moment the strike is over, I guarantee you people are writing the pickleball snobs versus slobs. That's definitely going to happen for sure. That's a guarantee. That's a lock. That's a guarantee.
So lock that one in for. Let's get the strike resolved.
I was going to say the one like so bad it's good movie that I feel like not enough people have seen is Miami Connection.
Oh
which is
God,
incredible.
I listened to Against the Ninja.
Yeah, I mean it's the actual good music, but hilarious. Like honestly, not even maybe so bad it's good. Maybe just good. I don't know.
Just good. It's very naturalistic. The filmmaking is kind of like they kind of did a one take or a rough cut that they just kind of printed.
It's exactly what you want from that kind of movie, where it's like incredibly sincere, heart on their sleeves, people who love movies and who wanted to make an awesome movie, and they did their bless them. They did their best.
If you're not familiar with it, it's about a rock band called. Is it Dragon Sound?
Yeah.
I think Dragon Sound, and they tour around. They're also Taekwondo masters, and they go fighting ninjas from city to city.
I can't sum it up any better than that. That is exactly. They're a traveling band / clan of ninjas.
And their songs are all thematically appropriate about fighting ninjas.
About using Taekwondo to fight and destroy you.
Hell yeah.
It's fantastic.
We should do that next week. But it's a different movie. Maybe 2 weeks from now. Next week it's a vacation week, and we're gonna be doing something thematic for that. And we hope you'll be back then.
Quick sojourn to Chi-Town.
There you go.
My town.
Yeah, Chi City. So we'll see you there and then. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.